We have more plumbing supplies, so now we're going to try and connect up the freshwater plumbing stuff.
Oh, very nice. Hello and welcome to our channel. We're Jojo and Scott. We live in the Highlands of Scotland. In August last year, we took on a big challenge. We bought a bright yellow van ready to turn into a camper. It's been a much bigger job than we expected, from ripping out the filthy interior, scrubbing away at the grime, to finding some nasty surprises. It's been a hell of a ride, with loads of ups and downs. We'd love for you to join us on this journey, as we take a filthy ex-fleet vehicle, strip it back to the basics, and build up a tiny home on wheels. Thank you so much for watching.
Decided we're going to try and start from the tap and then work our way towards the freshwater tank. The thinking is that the sooner we get the tap stuff done, then putting the sink in wouldn't be in the way, so then we could put the sink in. Done.
Well, it fits. It's a good start. A tap.
That seems to work.
Now we just need a sink.
We're going to connect up the water to the tap before we put the sink in, because then the sink would be in the way of connecting everything up to the tap.
The way of your head.
Yeah, I'd smash my face off a lot. So the first silly thing we're contending with is, this is just a regular house tap, hot and cold. If we were to connect up only one of these, then we would end up with one water leaking out of it, and then we could then block it, and then you'd end up with water pooling in there and it gets all nasty. So what we're going for is connecting up both of them. We've got two connectors here for both of them, and we're then going to connect those up to a Y joint to make it effectively just one connection. That's what we want to say.
Pooling water causes Legionella, and we don't want that.
No one wants Legionella.
No. The other nice thought is as well, if in the future we decide to install a hot water tank,
Yeah, then just disconnect it, blank off one of these, and then off we go.
yeah, then we can reconnect it up as a hot and cold water, so it gives us room to change in the future.
But yeah, first things first is we're putting this thing on. These. So we figured out how to connect up our piping. We have to ram the bit of pipe over these pretty large, called a barb. They don't fit that well. Turns out the magic trick is to heat up the pipe. Makes sense. We probably don't need these little clips because it is rammed on there super tight, but we bought them because we read that you should probably use them anyway. And you know, why not a second safety measure? So now we're just going to connect all this up. The two tap outlets are going to go onto these bits This end is going to go towards the accumulator, and we're going to have some more things in the way, like little ball valves, just so we can isolate any bit. I've done this 3 times now, so I can probably give an instructional video to the internet on how the heck to put these things together. You just heat it up and then you ram it on. Get on there. Oh gosh! Ooh, barb against barb on my hand is sharp. Oh, I'm glad I haven't jammed this down under the sink yet, because... Oh gosh, get on there. So it's mostly on, I'm going to give it some more heat. Whew. That's it, pretty much on. I'll just loosen up this sucker. Over there. This one has much bigger ridges on the barb than this one had. It's making it a little bit tricky to push this thing over it. Get on there. Okay. Now I just have to fight with it and get the screw back through there. That end is now going to the accumulator. Get on there, you. Get on there. Okay, I don't like this. This is not a fun pastime. That's kinking pipe. Don't kink pipe, I don't need this. So I've got the barbs mostly rammed into the pipe. I think it's in far enough. And then the flexible pipe out of the tap itself was starting to kink. But put a cable tie around the barb connections, so that allows the tap connection parts to be a bit more straight, and the hose pipe is able to flex a bit because that's what it does. So now I'll just push these extra clips up to here and secure it.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find.
To sum up what we've done so far, we have got the tap attached to the countertop. We have got the tap connected up, in of itself. We have the tap connected to a water supply. We've got the 2 tap connections running to a Y junction, because we can't isolate either, so we might as well have water going into both. We have the Y junction going to a ball valve. That pipe then leads to the accumulator, which holds the water pressure. Accumulator receives pressure from the pump, and the pump is set up to be connected to the tank, but we've not done that yet.
Why haven't we done that?
Because the pipe we've got here is just a little bit too short. That's not going to reach down there. So we had to get some more pipe. Who knew that 3 meters just wasn't going to be enough? So this is the new bit here. Also, we originally had a big black bit of pipe to come into here, and we learned that we can't use that black pipe. It's made of PVC, and PVC is a plastic that you shouldn't use for potable water. If you're going to drink water, you don't want to have been running across PVC. So we've got new pipe made from, I think it's polypropylene this stuff is made from, which I believe that is okay for potable water. So that's there. That's how we're going to fill up the tank. It's connected to the tank fill up, which is coming out of here. So now on the freshwater front, we just need to replace this section of pipe with this longer section, connect it to the tank, and then connect this sucker into the tank. That's the fresh water then done.
Well, we need a sink.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
That's the freshwater supply done. Yeah. Once we've tested that, make sure that works, we can then put a sink in, connect the sink to the waste, and then I think that's the water finished. What do you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the one bit that you've missed as well is that the other day you wired up the pump, so we've got a switch up here for the water pump,
Oh, yes.
and it's all wired into the power
Yes, the pump is working.
down here.
So let's demo. Power on, supply to the 12 volt. This switch here should operate the pump. So if I press this, there we go.
That's the pump.
It's running dry. I think it's okay to run dry, but I don't want to run dry too much.
Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, let's connect this up then. Yeah. So this mess down here, we've got the outflow from the tank, which has been leak tested, and that's fine. And then this is the new bit that we've connected today. So we've put a towel under, ready for leak testing. It's a complete piece of pipe. It goes through this cupboard, up through here. There's no joins until we actually get to the pump. So Scott's going to join that up.
This through here. I'm going to say, when we test this, we're going to have the power off, or at least as much power off as we can. Just need to free bend a little bend into this sucker.
Yeah, the pipe's fairly rigid, but it is bendable, so
Yeah.
it's just not the easiest to...
It's not inflexible, but I wouldn't exactly call it particularly flexible either.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all the connections now. Time to test it out.
We know that electricity in water is not a good idea. But, we've got all the power off for now while we fill this. One bucket. So the little tank connector out there is, over here, is submerged. And so far, can't see any leaks. No drips.
Okay, stage 2, opening the tap. Got a bucket here to catch.
Catch the dribbles. Ready? Moment of truth.
The bucket here.
Yeah, we should start to see water coming in there. Oh, that's water! That's water! Okay, so we know we're good up to this point. Coming around here. Oh, that's doing stuff. That's called water hammer.
Let's say accumulator.
And I think that's it pressurized. So now,
Tap.
try it. Oh my god!
That is definitely pressurized. That is good stream of water.
Oh wow!
Right, are there any drips now that we've got water running out the tap? Yes, there's a drip there.
I can see one. Can you flick the switch on the pump?
Which one is it?
Back left. That one.
There's one drip coming from the pump. It's to be expected. Anywhere else dripping? Of course, it had to be this connection leaking. This was the most annoying one to do. So this guy here.
Right here. Yeah.
Scott nearly died trying to do that.
It was painful.
Should we?
Yeah, let's figure out how to fix it.
We discovered what the leaking component was. It's actually the tap. So we put a tap in so we could isolate the pump and switch the water off if necessary. But water was pouring out from this little tap bit here. So we've chopped it out and I'll show you what we're going to do. We're just going to join this piece of pipe here straight onto the tap with no isolation and hope that works. We had to stop filming because Scott's too large to fit in that gap, so I had to jump down there, but we're nearly there.
Yeah, Jojo managed to ram this thing on. She did a great job.
So we're just tightening up the, what's it called?
Clip. It's a hose clip. It's a hose clip.
Tightening up the hose clip. Now we have less connections.
Yep.
So the hope is less connections means less chance of leaking.
That's usually the rule of thumb.
Yeah. So this just needs connected to the accumulator. It's very difficult to film actually. Leak test number 2.
Let it finish its priming.
Yep. You check for any drips under there.
Give it a go. I'm not seeing any leaks.
Have a feel. Put your hand over every connection. Just
Oh, there's one.
Yep, that one's leaking now. We must have shifted it when we did the other one. And we had a leak there, but this one's dry.
Okay.
Shall we retest it? You want to stay under the sink?
I'll stay under here. You fire up that pump, please.
Putting the bucket over your head. This bucket's getting heavy.
Cool. Can you chuck it?
Think it's working. So now that the tap seems to be working and we don't appear to have any leaks down there, my mum's just come up with a great idea of putting some paper under it, so if there's a slow leak we should catch it in time. So the next stage is
The sink.
That's the sink in place. We're going to put some masking tape around the edge so that we don't make a mess, and then we're going to use clear kitchen sealant to glue the sink to the countertop, and then we need to connect up the outflow pipe. The sink is in. These are just weighing it down, so that's setting. In the meantime, we've started putting cupboard doors on here.
We had to put the cupboard doors on before we put this wall on.
Yeah, so
that we could reach in the back and get to things.
Yeah, because we wanted to screw in from behind. So this is our new splashback. No, I'm joking. This is just a cardboard template. So we've cut this piece of cardboard to fit because we have to make it go along that curve there. So we're going to have a metal heat-proof splashback to go next to the cooker so that we don't end up burning any walls. So that's the task just now. That's a splashback. So it's all trimmed to size now. We took a jigsaw to it and just cut along the line of the stencil. That's the word.
We made a stencil, yes.
And we're going to screw it directly into these wooden beams here. So Scott's marked up and pre-drilled holes in the metal. Yeah, we're going to peel the plastic cover off as well once we've screwed it on.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. So that was the difficult bit to cut. Most of the way, not all the way.
I'll go for the one up. You're sticking the drill in your face.
Now the screws are in place, we can take the clamps off. And we can take the protective layer off.
I'm going to shift this because it's leaving.
Saw you down the motorway. There was something about you that day. I can still hear the shimmering sound. The hill is near, let's get right up. Walk up to the very top. We couldn't.
So it's not recommended to screw directly into a splashback, but because these instructions state there's like little hooks that you put on the wall and then you're supposed to just glue it in place, but I don't think that's going to hold when we're driving. So we've decided to put screws in, which does create little dent marks in it. We're okay with it. So that's a heat protective and obviously waterproof shield.
It'll
So-
wipe down.
Yeah, so when we're cooking and things splatter over there, that'll protect the rest of the van. So now we're going to put a little bit of ply up there to finish up the wardrobe. And that's it.
Let's head down, it's getting cold. All that glitter is not gold, and you are something I don't wanna miss.
So today we're doing a few more fiddly jobs to try and get the van looking a bit more finished. So I'll show you what we're up to. I've just cut a piece of ply to fill in that gap there, so we'll need to screw that in place and then take it off, prime and paint it, and then that'll be that wall looking great. Scott's working down here. He's putting in runners for a drawer.
A drawer that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, we're going to build the drawer.
But we need to put the runners on to get the dimensions for the drawer.
Yeah.
So.
And that all has to be in relation to the fridge that's going there. But we've put off building this to the last minute because we needed the water pipes in place first, so
Yes.
that we don't.
Because they determine how deep the drawer is going to be.
Yeah, so we didn't want to make a mistake. Last night, when it was really dark, we finished hooking up the waste system. This pipe's a bit long and it's created another U-bend situation. So we've got a... Is it a U-bend? Is that what it's called? An S-bend?
It's a trap. It's a trap. Water trap.
Water trap. And we've kind of created our own one.
But it's fine.
It works. The water runs down. So we've got a P-trap here with a valve, a one-way valve, so the water can't come back up into the sink.
I declare it absolute overkill, but it's fine.
This was supposed to go from there to there, but it's a bit long, so it's got a bend in it. But that will stop smells and things coming up. Then we've got an actual trap here to stop smells coming up from the tank. And that goes down into the tank. And of course this is the urine diverter, which has its own P-trap here, one-way valve system. So in theory, nothing should be splashing back up as we drive. My piece of ply is now primed, so we're waiting for that to dry. And in the meantime, we are building a drawer.
A cutlery drawer.
Yeah, so this is going to be the one drawer in the kitchen where we can keep all manner of kitchen goods.
We've got our drawer built. We're just sizing it up to put it on runners. Luckily, the bits of wood that we use for the bed are the perfect height to just sit on top of the fridge and give us a nice space for the drawer. Pain in the butt with this whole unit is we wound up making this wall over here a little bit squint, which is translated into this wall as well. So the drawer squint, but it's fine. I'm going to sort of build out the drawer front when we put it on so that the drawer front is flush to the front of the unit. And that's a drawer. So we have just managed to do our first bit of proper joinery here. That's a lovely cupboard door.
So we've put the doors on so that we can check that the hinges are in the right place, check that they fit. We're going to take them off again to wood fill and paint, but we wanted to do all the bashing around whilst they were still kind of raw.
Yeah.
So we've been working on the pull-out pantries. Doors, and Scott, do you want to show the other door that we've got on so far?
Whoop! Down here!
There we go.
It's looking like a proper kitchen now.
We don't even need the gas struts.
Not on that one. I think we might need these. So we're being weird about these ones because when we open these hinges, we don't actually have space to get the door up against here.
Just thanks to the curve of the van.
Yeah. When we eventually get this thing attached, I think we're going to have to put a gas strut on this thing to restrict how far it opens. We've got a few of them. Don't know if we've got enough.
So an update on the door fitting in the van. Look at that. So this is the next target. We're going to put a big door on the parcel shelf. The issue we faced here was this lovely block of wood that we've cut up here was not thick enough. So we've had to add in extra
Wood.
yeah,
Extra wood.
extra blocks behind to attach the hinges to. That's kept you busy.
Certainly has. Fiddly bits.
So we're going to fit a door there now, are we?
Yes, we are. Can't wait. Oh yeah, this is how we're getting the position of these hinges just right. The wood that we've used to build the doors, we're just putting on, lining up. It works.
This really bothers me. We haven't quite got the rests in place, so we need to put a block of wood behind the door to keep it sitting in the rest position. And we've got some magnetic strips arriving as well to help hold them in place. But they're all sitting at slightly different... That's really annoying. I want them all like that.
We'll fix it.
Yeah. The same with this guy down here, he just wants to sit. Stop it. And this one. Just sit there. So we had to get special tiny screws for this. Hold on. Wait, can you see that? Because the ones that came with the door,
Massive.
they were enormous and they would have burst out the other end.
Oh,
So we had to get these guys.
sweet. Try that.
Now's the moment of truth.
Does it fit? Oh wow!
Like a glove. All done.
So we've got all of these cupboard doors off of the cupboards, and Jojo's now filling in the edges.
Nobody likes big gaps in the edge of the doors.
So they now look like one lovely solid piece. Kind of like what you would get at a kitchen furniture shop.
Kind of, but not as nice as that. But getting there.
Rustic.
Yeah, rustic is definitely this van. If there's one word to describe this van.
Authentic.
So we're just kind of smushing it in the gaps, and then when it dries we'll take sandpaper and get a lovely smooth finish. And then we'll prime the wood and paint it. and then the cupboard doors are done.
The doors are all primed. We skipped that bit. Now Jojo's getting the final coat of acrylic paint onto these things. And my gosh, they're looking good. Jojo, you've done a great job. While Jojo has been hard at work at the cupboard door painting, I've been working on the enclosure for this heater. So this guy's going to sit right about here. Still to wire up, but that's where it's going to sit. We're going to put this panel over here. And then we'll put this vent into here. Lovely. There's a mess. All of these cupboard doors have been painted and they are ready to go on to the van.
Onto the cupboards in the van.
Yes.
You're not just going to stick them to the outside of the van. This one has what kind of a bug leg do you think that is in it? And it's got a spike on it, so maybe a wasp?
Great.
Somebody's lost a leg.
Gross.
And then there's this little fly here.
We just couldn't paint these things without bugs going, to my death!
Yeah. Preserved forever now. You can see where the leg was.
Is that technically a fossil now?
Yeah. Okay, shall we put these buggy doors on the...
Yeah, let's do it.
Tidy. Very nice. Another one done.
Lovely.
Putting a front panel on that's been painted today. We've got a lot of the doors in place now. There's Scott. Cupboard fronts, drawer fronts, door here. Out here we've been working on getting this bit panelled up. We're going to tackle the heater soon because the bits have finally arrived, so we can strap that in place. Before we do that, we're going to seal the edges there so that no gas can escape through that side. There's been a little bit more painting going on out here, and Scott's been busy on something.
I've been setting up a thing to attach the inverter to. We have a 1200 watt inverter, even though the Box says volt amps. This is what we're going to attach it to. We're going to drill into here and here. Yeah, we're just making a funny frame, setting the thing up. Like everything else in here, I'm going to mount on this special fire safe board stuff, because that's a good idea.
Yeah, so I think the summary for this week is we're going to try and get the inverter done. Then the heater, get that in place.
Yep.
Because then we want to do the control panels, which are going to go up here for the gas and the water fill up and things like that. We've still got some more cupboard fronts to do, and they are painted and ready to go, but we've run out of door handles, really annoyingly. Yeah. So we're going to the city on Monday, so we'll get some more of those then. We can get the rest of the doors on. We've had a major issue with the water tank. It will not stop leaking, so we've ordered some parts to try and fix that. So we're waiting for those to arrive, and then hopefully we can get the water tank in place.
I feel like we're quite close to finishing though. Yeah. Once we've finished the water tank, we've set up the heater, set this inverter up, a little bit more wiring, then, unless I'm missing something, I think it's just put in the bed and stick the solar panels on the roof.
Yeah, that's the main things. There's a couple more little bits and pieces we need to do, but yeah, today's been hopefully the last of the painting. We've got little doors here, and that's what we were working on yesterday. We've put hinges up so we can have mini cupboards on either side of the bed, so that's quite cute.
Let's do it. That's the inverter in place. It might look upside down. It's just the writing that's upside down. The installation instructions did say that it's okay for it to be this way round or that way round. So we put it this way because the input terminals are around here, and we're going to be connecting it over, that's the positive where it's coming from, and the negative will just go over here. It makes the cable route shorter, and then we'll connect the output from here over to the breakers. It seems weird. It's a bit more practical. That's it. So that's the inverter all hooked up. I don't think I actually said what an inverter does. The point of it is it lets us connect in regular household appliances, whereas we need to be clever with how we use power off of the batteries. So regular AC powered things, we can run them off this.
So that's all for this week. We're getting very, very close to the end, so we're getting quite excited. Next week we're hoping to get the heater finished.
Yes, gonna get the heater finished, hopefully get the control panel sorted out, the bed in, and
the water tank, fresh water tank.
Yep.
Ideally that as well.
Get the water tank finished, and then maybe solar panels if we're lucky.
Yeah, fingers crossed.